Hey, Whippersnappers, this is Tortimer the Grey. Welcome you back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown Grey version Season 2. Today we are in the we're in the UU tier still, having left the Psychic Gym behind us, and, Yes. This is our first week in the UU tier, having left the Psychic Gym behind us. Yeah, that's correct. I was thinking, wait, no, we haven't done a UU gym yet, but that was the last week of RU. Anyway, wow, words today. The Admiral Emulant is coming at us with his evil team. Fidget, my new Gliscor, is setting up. I'm not super afraid of the Vulture here, Mandibuzz, so I figure I'll take the opportunity to set up. I have Ice Fang on Fidget because oftentimes with these things you see that they have very big difficulty dealing with, like, usually he runs Earthquake, and I think Knockoff is the recommended set, but he's always got Earthquake, and usually I've found when using them in the past that it leaves him open to all kinds of flying types and grass types and all these other types, so and even other Gliscors, which I think we'll go up against some other Gliscors potentially this week. So he runs Ice Fang there. Hanu coming in, that's sturdy, doing work up against the Zygarde dog. And then he's going to throw up that Aqua Jet. Not enough to kill the Legendary, and Hanu's going to go down. But then Bernie is going to switch in, and Bernie's got the Mach Punch, and he's going to finish off the Zygarde there. So we've got a couple familiar faces on the team from before. We've got Hanu and Luna and Franklin, and as well as, I don't think we even saw her this episode, but we do have Scad there now fully evolved as well. So just a couple of new members this week, but fitting ones. So yeah, let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, here we are up against Grunt Codeman, and I was stumbling over my words so much in that first battle that I don't even know if I said that this week we're going up against the evil team. I may have said it, but honestly I don't remember. We were kind of all over the place. And so we're going up against the evil team this week. We left the Psychic Gym, leaving the RU tier, coming into UU, and bumped right into the evil team once again on our way to the next gym. Liability switches in and is going to finish off Franklin after Franklin finishes off the Mega Sharpedo, getting a Moxie boost there. Fidget going to switch in and start throwing up the Swords Dance. Going to take a Rock Slide, but not going to do a ton. Fidget then gets the Toxic Orb, going that Poison Heal, and then is going to take a Hard Crunch from the Krogunk. The Crocodile. I'm actually shocked that Fidget's outspeeding that thing. Those things tend to be pretty quick. I always have a pretty speedy Crocodile, so I'm not sure how Fidget managed that, but he's got his boost. He's pretty low, but able to at least do some good work here for us, finishing off the Crocodile and getting the Hydreigon pretty low. Bernie then going to switch in, force out the Hydreigon, going to bring in Fillet, which is not going to be the best bet for Codeman, unfortunately, but if he needs this Hydreigon more than he needs his Pawniard Bisharp, but unfortunately Bernie, with the Rocks damage, definitely able to do enough damage to the Hydreigon once it comes back in and finish it off with another Mach Punch, not giving it a chance to throw up another hit. But thank you so much for participating this week, Codeman. All of you guys who came in with the smaller teams, that was fun, because, you know, in these games, people never have a full team, so it's good we're getting some variety in here. I greatly appreciate, there was a handful of you guys who did it this week. I think maybe just people ran out of time, probably, for the most part, but it does help us keep the episode a little quicker. And on that note, I should probably move on as opposed to dragging things out. Thank you so much for participating this week, Codeman. I greatly appreciate it. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, battle number 3 up against Grunt GBL4 Turtles, or Shunosaurus, and Shuno's Tyrantrum is going to set up with that Dragon Dance. That is scary. These stupid... This is I think probably my favorite fossil Pokemon, but even the... bulky Fidget is not going to have enough power to get through the Tyrantrum and is going to go down, continuing to get boosts here and things like that. Scad switching in. Scad has the Sash, and then I throw up the Dazzling Gleam, which is enough to finish off the Tyrantrum, so that works out pretty nicely for us. Hydreigon then going to switch in and is going to outspeed Scad, so Scad's going to go down there. Then we're going to switch in and Bernie's going to come in. Bernie's going to take a Dark Pulse there and flinch. I feel like Shun gets a couple of flinches here in a row. Yeah, I'm just getting real bad RNG at that point. So I go for the Mach Punch. I think I was trying for the Drain Punch so I could do more damage and get some health back, but I figured, screw it. Well, we're getting flinched too much, so we need to get out of here before he starts throwing up moves. So Bernie is going to finish off the Hydreigon. He's going to get poisoned by the Dialga. We do have Guts on him, I believe, although I don't have any item that's giving him Guts boost, which is probably not the best bet, but anyway. He goes down before finishing off the Dragalge. Luna's going to take a devastating Drake and going to survive that pretty well and finish off the Dragalge. So that works out pretty nice. At which point Drudigan's going to switch in. Luna's going to use that Protect to heal up a little bit before she's got to take a hit from this thing. So she gets a little bit of health back, throws up the Wish, and just barely survives it. So we're going to be able to get our Wish to land. We throw up that Protect and get some health back here. I know that she can take a Dragon Claw, so I'm not super worried about that at this point. So we go ahead and throw up the Foul Play, do good damage to the Drudigan there. I believe that Foul Play is based off of the attack stat of the opposing Pokemon, so Drudigan's got some good stats there and helps us finish him off. At which point the Haxorus is going to come in. I believe that Haxorus is going to start setting up, no, it goes for the Attract. Goes for the Attract, and then I think it's going to start setting up some Sword Dances or something potentially. I said Sword Dances. Gonna be immobilized by Love. Yeah, Dragon Dances. Going for those Dragon Dances, which makes a lot more sense, given the typing. And Luna's going to take a Dragon Claw at that point. I believe that we get the, so we get the Foul Play there, and with the stat boost, the attack stat raised, which boosts the power of our Foul Play, if I'm remembering how that works correctly, and finishes off the Haxorus. We did have Hanu in the wings, so I think we probably could have managed it without Luna anyway, but Luna doing great work, showing why she's my favorite evolution there. So, thank you so much for participating in this week's show, and I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alright guys, here we are up against Grunt Scad, and Scad leads off with Goldo, and Goldo is going to take a hard Lava Plume and go down to its Sash. Franklin then going to set up the rocks, and then I believe we Rapid Spin on Goldo here to get rid of his rocks and finish him off as well. So taking a little bit of damage, but hey, we'll take it. It'll be fine. Franklin is then going to go up against Nidoking, and he's going to switch on out, bringing in Fidget. But Scad predicts that like nobody's business, throws up that Ice Beam, and finishes off Fidget in one hit. Scad, though, then going to switch in and finish off Scad's Nidoking. A little bit of Scadception there, but we'll take it. All right, so Bernie's going to take the knockoff from the Bisharp. That's right. I almost corrected myself, and a Pawniard, but I know which names these Pokemon have on occasion, at least. Crobat Birder is then going to take some moves from Bernie and switch on out, throwing up that Defog to get rid of our rocks, which is a bit unfortunate. Hanu is going to take a U-turn, which is unfortunately going to break his Sturdy. Raccoon then is going to come in, and Hanu's going to set up the Shell Smash. Raccoon getting that Flame Orb. I go ahead and throw up the Z-Power there. I am dabbling with those a bit. I don't have a Mega in this battle, or on this team, but that's mostly because the only one that I think is really even available is, well, somebody used Mega Sharpedo, and then we see a couple of Mega Aerodactyls this week as well. None of those really had a lot of interest to me necessarily at this point. Not to say that we won't see one at some point during this this run of the tier, but that'll be fine. I predict the switch into Bernie and throw up the into Birder and throw up the Thunder Punch there, doing some good damage to the Crobat. Words today, I tell you what. Franklin takes a hard Brave Bird and is going to go down. Unfortunately, that thing's throwing up the Roost. And Franklin's going to go down. I believe that we get the Defog here, to get rid of the rocks once again. Luna then throws up the Foul Play, not doing a ton of damage. Crobat bulkier than you expect, I suppose. And even with a crit, barely half. So this thing's going to be a bit of a challenge. I say, forget it. We'll bring it in. We'll bring in Scad, expecting that Scad's going to throw up the Roost. So we're able to get in, but not fast enough. I feel like Alakazam is usually pretty quick, but has not proven to be fast enough in the course of these battles. So Scad's going to finish off the Bisharp with a Focus Blast. Both Scad and I were kind of hoping that I predict. She was saying she was hoping it would miss. I was saying, well, I expected that you would think that I would withdraw so that you wouldn't go for a Sucker Punch or something. So I was hoping she didn't Sucker Punch. She was hoping it would miss. All that jazz. Bernie going to go down to Raccoon, who has proper guts going on there. Oh, I didn't set up Bernie very well, apparently. Scad is going to go down to the Mach Punch. Unfortunately, both of our Conkeldurs were both the same speed, so we had a speed tie. So I won the first attack, but she won the second when we both went for the Mach Punch there. Luna now up against the Crobat here. And it becomes a bit of a stall war. I threw up the Wish. Crobat's got the roost. Luna can't really do a ton to this Crobat in the first place. And so it's kind of a standstill here thing for a little bit. So we're gonna throw up some moves here. We're gonna just kind of skip through some of these because this gets a little bit long as we start continuing to chip away at each other. I think at a certain point here, I just decided that I was gonna heal back up to full one more time. Oh no, yeah. So once I got back to full there, I decided, okay, I'm not gonna do this stall thing. I'm either gonna be able to knock it out, or I'm gonna lose. And so I just was going for full on attack there, and then Luna held on with the 1% health and was able to finish off the Crobat. Scad could have beat me there, but unfortunately the Brave Bird just didn't finish off. And she eventually was like, yeah, let's just do this, and was going full on attack. But yeah, thank you so much, Scad, for your battle. It was a lot closer than I would have liked, given that you had one less Pokemon than I did. But you're always a very strong competitor, so it's not too surprising. Thank you so much for participating this week, Scad. Let's check out the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go up against Grunt ECAT and Franklin up against the Scizor, which is a fairly good matchup for us, which forces out the Scizor. Throw up that Lava Plume, which does pretty good damage to the Medicham there. I think Medicham's going to throw up that Drain Punch, get a little bit of health back, just enough to keep it from going down to the burn, so that works out pretty nicely. Franklin going to take a Confusion, which, frankly, that move confuses me, why ECAT had that on his Medicham as opposed to Psychic or something like that. Or some sort of physical. Anyway, I was confused to see Confusion, but Franklin throws up the fire or the Lava Plume there up against the. I figured make use of the sun while we're getting the boost. We might as well go ahead and use it. So that's what we were doing. Hanu switches in and throws up the Shell Smash as King Tyrant throws up the Wish. King Tyrant's going to get its Wish, and Hanu's going to throw up the Stone Edge, which with the Shell Smash boosts is going to easily finish off. Allstare then is going to switch in and take a knockoff, which is going to finish off the Gengar there. And then George Bush is going to come out and take a hard Stone Edge there. Going to throw up the Petal Dance, though, and finish off Hanu without too much trouble whatsoever. Bernie then switches in and is going to throw up the Mach Punch just to finish off the Venusaur there. Scizor then coming in. Bernie going to stay in, take the Slash, even critical hit. Does less than, just over 30%. The Drain Punch is going to do pretty good for us. The Bug resists, but the Steel does not. Steel is weak, so we get some good neutral damage going there. Healing up a little bit. The defenses are not strong enough, however, to withstand another Mach Punch, and the Scizor is going to go down. At which point, Morpho, the Drapion, is going to switch in. Knockoff going to do some good work to Bernie and get his Assault Vest off. The Drain Punch going to heal us back up a little bit. Again, similar situation. We're getting neutral damage because of the Poison Dark mix. So doing good enough that Bernie's able to do some work here. The Toxic damage is going to actually boost our Guts and is going to finish off the Drapion there. So thank you so much, ECAT, for participating this week. I like the like your team, and you changed your avatar and everything for the theme and all that. That's pretty great. Thank you so much for participating. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alright, Team Evil Adarum, and Adarum is going to throw out the Alakazam and start throwing up those Calm Lines there. Franklin going to get the Stealth Rocks going. Probably going to regret letting this Alakazam set up, but Franklin's going to get the Lava Plume going. The Burn, probably not going to do anything thanks to Alakazam's ability. Shadow Ball is going to take Franklin down pretty low, but able to get that last Lava Plume off and get the Alakazam very close to dead. The Aqua Jet finishing off the Alakazam before it can do too much damage with all those boosts we allowed it to get, so that worked out pretty nicely. Hanu going to go down to a Sturdy from a Giga Drain, which is obviously going to easily heal up that Tentacruel there. Hanu then throwing up the boosts. Tentacruel is going to take a Stone Edge, and we get a critical there. My guess is, considering how defensive Tentacruels tend to be, that probably mattered, so I do apologize about that, Addy, but part of the game. I don't think anyone in our circle here really gets too upset about those sorts of things. I decide to go for the Z-Power here, Hydro Vortex on the Scrafty. Scrafty starts setting up the Dragon Dances, and I believe we probably go for the Aqua Jet here. Yet, not enough to finish off the Scraggy, though, unfortunately, and Hanu is going to go down, getting its Dragon Dance. No Moxie on this, though, so we're assuming Shed Skin there. Gliscor then going to switch in. Bernie's going to throw up that Mach Punch, get its Poison Heal going. Bernie switching out, Fidget switching in. The Stealth Rock's coming up from the Gliscor there. Fidget get its Toxic Heal going. The U-turn coming from the other Gliscor as we set up a Swords Dance here. At least that's my guess. Yes, we set up the Swords Dance, which is going to offset the Intimidate just a bit. Poison Heal healing us back up a little bit. Fidget throws up that Earthquake, finishing off the Scrafty, at which point Haxorus switches in. Haxorus is going to get that Mold Breaker going. Setting up those Dragon Dances, we go for the Ice Fang, which does good damage to the Haxorus. Haxorus coming at us with the Dragon Claw, pretty good damage there, but Fidget able to withstand it, get another Ice Fang up, and finish off the Haxorus. Fidget healing back a little bit from the Poison Heal, at which point Gliscor comes back in, gonna get the U-turn off on Fidget, but not enough damage. Gonna throw up that Roost to get our health back, and then we're gonna throw up, well, it keeps throwing up U-turns, we're gonna throw up the Ice Fang once again, 4 times effective. I think at this point I throw up a Sword Stance just to get us so that we can one-shot this thing. Yeah, so we get the Sword Stance going there, which is going to probably give us a one-shot possibility. Obviously, we both have the Toxic Heal going, so getting more back every turn, but the Ice Fang going to land, and is going to be enough, thanks to our second Sword Dance, to finish off the Gliscor there. So Grunt Adram goes down, and thank you so much for participating this week, Addy. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alright, we have Klungar here, who I guess I was going to say Grunt Klungar, but Klungar was previously an admin of this team, maybe because of his loss. The last time we went up against the team, he got a slight demotion, but Klungar comes in with a very cool team here. The Jellyfish is going to throw up the Acid Spray, lowering Franklin's special defenses. Franklin really isn't doing much here, though, so Franklin's going to come on out. Scad's going to come in, take that Acid Spray very well. Her special defenses go down by half. The Jellyfish going to switch out, bringing in the Intimidating Crocodile there. Scad is going to have thrown up the Psychic, and when I attempt to take her out, Klungar predicts that with the Pursuit, finishing off Scad. Fidget then switches in, Brutal comes in as well, Sword Dancing with Fidget to get our attack boosted a little bit, going to take a Draco Meteor critical hit there. Fidget's pretty defensive, but we've been getting pretty hard hits from people before, so surprised that he survived the critical hit there, but able to survive long enough to be able to finish off the Hydrangea there, at which point Intimidation comes back in, and going to throw up the knockoff, finishing off Fidget. Fidget goes down, and Bernie is going to switch in, forcing out the Crocodile. Shadow comes in at that point, and we predicted that switch, so we throw up the knockoff there, finishing off the Gengar, at which point Fossil switches in, and Fossil is going to go up against Luna as we switch her in, but going to Mega Evolve, the first of a couple of Mega Aerodactyls we see this week. Luna's going to take a hard Stone Edge from the Mega, going to throw up that Foul Play, which is going to do good damage up against the Aerodactyl there. Luna throws up that Protect. We're hoping that we can get high enough to withstand another Stone Edge. I didn't think I did get high enough, because the previous Stone Edge had done like 43%, and we were only able to get back up to 41% with leftovers, but we got lucky, and it didn't kill. Luna at that point is going to take a knockoff from Intimidation after finishing up the Aerodactyl, and it's going to go down, at which point Hanu's going to come in. The knockoff going there, but it can't knock off our Water Z, and the Shell Smash is going to scare away the Crocodile, at which point we throw up the Aqua Jet, not doing a whole lot of damage to the Jellyfish, but the Stone Edge is going to land, thankfully, and going to take the Jellyfish down. Crocodile then switches back in, getting that Intimidate going, lowering our attack a little bit. The Aqua Jet not going to be enough to finish off Crocodile after that, and Hanu's going to go down to an Earthquake, leaving it up to Bernie to switch in the Mach Punch, finishing off the Crocodile, and then Sword Blade, the Bisharp, switching in and throwing up that Sucker Punch, but not going to do enough to the bulky Bernie, and the Drain Punch is going to heal us back up and finish off Klungar's team once and for all. So a very strong battle here from Klungar, definitely redeeming himself from his loss as an admin last time. I'm sure he will begin climbing back up through the ranks of the evil team, but we got lots of battles to get through still, guys. Let's jump into them, shall we? Thank you so much for participating this week, Klungar. I greatly appreciate it. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go up against Grunt Mac, and Mac is a very promising grunt in the evil organization, doing some good damage to Franklin on the first turn out as Franklin sets up the rocks, at which point Bernie switches in, and Bernie is going to take a Rapid Spin, which is unfortunately going to get rid of our rocks. It's going to throw up that Thunder Punch and do really good damage to the Bodyguard number 1. Bodyguard number 2 then switches in, predicting the fighting move, so is going to do hard damage to Bernie, but Bernie survives. It throws up the knockoff, finishing off Bodyguard number 2, at which point the Master comes in, and Master is going to finish off Bernie. Franklin switches in at that point, but is going to take an Earthquake. I assumed that was going to be a possibility, but I figured, why not? Let's give it a shot. It didn't end up working out in our favor. Luna switches in, forcing out the Master, but then the Mistress switches in, which I wasn't evil enough to bring Navi on the team yet, although I did consider it. I was like, but do I really want Navi and Luna? And I wasn't quite ready to give up Luna yet. She's been doing such good work for us, so Luna got the slot instead. Fidget is going to throw up a sword dance and do a good earthquake off on the henchman. Henchman, though, is carrying Ice Punch, finishing off Fidget. Scad then switches in, forcing out the Conkeldurr, switching back into the Master. Master's taking that no problem whatsoever. Luna switches in, taking a hard Meteor Mash from the Master, just under half damage there. Luna healing off a little bit of that, getting the Wish up here. Gonna switch out, bring Scad in, and the Wish ends up being for naught because Scad doesn't take a hit on switch in, so that doesn't matter. Hyper Voice gonna take Scad down to half, and then throwing out that Psychic. So one of the big weaknesses on my team this week, and I saw this time after time, was I did not prep for fairies. I didn't prep for fairies whatsoever. I didn't spend a ton of time prepping this team for the most part. It seemed to work out pretty well, but one of those things that I really just had no real counter for. I got lucky on a number of occasions, but I don't have a straight-up counter for fairies. And so Navi's going to pose a bit of a challenge for us here. The Hydrium Z finishing off that Conkeldurr, the Master switching in and getting that Aqua Jet off. I knew this thing had Bullet Punch already, so I couldn't risk going for the knockoff because I knew we were going to go down to the Bullet Punch. So I went ahead and went for the weaker priority just so we could get some damage off. Luna now up against the Mistress, throwing up that Foul Play, doing literally nothing. Hyper Voice is going to hit very, very hard. Gosh, that Hyper Voice move, man. I can't complain too much since you guys had to go up against a lot of Navi in Season 1 of the Gray version. Yeah, Mac wrecking us this week. Man, that Sylveon. And we didn't even have to go up against the Clefable, which would have been a trouble as well. I had nothing for fairy types this week, and Mac exploited it. So yeah, thank you so much for participating this week, Mac. I feel like there's probably a promotion in your future. Yeah, Grunt Mac doing good work this week. Thank you so much for participating this week, Mac. I greatly appreciate it. I know you thought you weren't able to get in this week, but it's good that you did because you had a great showing. All right, guys, let's jump into the next one, shall we? Thanks again, Mac. Here we go. Alrighty, guys, here we go up against Grunt Yeesh, and Yeesh is a bird enthusiast here this week as it's freaking Chatot, man, IR mascot, throws up the Boom Burst and wrecks Franklin, wrecks Fidget. Fidget is going to take another Boom Burst and go down. This move is just too OP, frankly. Deadbird is going to switch in, and Hanu's going to set up the Shell Smash. Deadbird switching out as Hanu's going to throw up the knockoff there on the Empyrean. Oh man, what is Empoleon? I was like, oh crap, I don't know this Pokemon's name. Hanu finishes off the Empoleon, at which point Evil Bird switches in. Hanu is going to throw up the Stone Edge. It connects on the second attempt and finishes off the Mandibuzz, at which point we throw up the Stone Edge on the Archeops as well. Going to finish that off. Hanu taken down to his sturdy there by the Chatot's Boom Burst, able to finish it off with a Hydro Vortex. Though I had no other counter for that stupid Chatot, so I was like, I need this thing dead, and I just went for the Hydro Vortex because it was powerful, 100% accurate. I didn't want to risk the Stone Edge missing and me losing Hanu. So yeah, foul play up against Isburb, the Togekiss. Again, we've got another bulky fairy here that I just do not have an answer for. At least not with Luna. Scad comes in, and Scad's going to throw up the Psychic, and that does very little. Not really enough to... half of it gets healed back off, it seems, by the leftovers. We get very, very lucky with the Parahacks here, though. It's just... I was thinking, like, literally was so bad, I was almost thinking that, like, maybe Serene Grace, like... affects the status conditions, or like, because the Serene Grace is like on a move you use, if there's a secondary effect, it's more likely to happen, sort of thing. So, but it shouldn't have been affecting. So I just was getting very lucky with the Parahacks there. Bernie is going to take a hard Sinister Arrow Raid, but survive it and get the knockoff off there, and win it for us. So yeah, very, very lucky up against the Togekiss. We would have lost that otherwise. Bernie maybe could have come in with the Thunder Punches and done some work against it, but that Bernie was weak against the fairies, so I don't know how long he could have survived that. But yeah, we got really lucky there. Thank you so much, Yesh, for participating this week. I feel like there's probably a promotion in your future as well. Very, very strong team, and if we hadn't gotten lucky, we would have gone down. Got to prep better for fairies in future weeks. But yeah, we got 2 admin battles this week, so let's jump into those now, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, going up against admin just me though, and this little preschooler has really worked his way up through the ranks of the evil organization, becoming an admin nonetheless. Franklin is getting those rocks up, going to take a bit of a beating from the Gliscor here. Going to throw up the solar beam, not going to do a ton. Obviously, Gliscor is ground type, but also flying type, so I believe that's neutral damage there. Gliscor is then going to start throwing up the sword dances, giving a hard critical knockoff to Fidget. Fidget takes that and is going to throw up a Swords Dance of his own, at which point we both heal up a little bit from Poison Heal. The 2x attack, Fidget going to force out the Gliscor there, which is probably good. We probably would have wrecked it a little bit with that Ice Fang. Most Gliscors just don't have counters for other Gliscors, which is why that Gliscor had to come out, and which is why I gave Fidget Ice Fang in the first place. And so Scad going to throw up the Psychic, finishing off the Conkeldurr there. Aerodactyl coming in, and I believe going to Mega Evolve at this point. Yep, so another Mega Aerodactyl this week. Scad taking a hard wing attack and going out. At which point Luna switches in. Luna was able to handle the last Aerodactyl pretty well, so bring her in. She actually does pretty decent damage up against the Scizor, although part of that is rocks. So yeah, we go ahead and switch her out. She starts throwing up the Sword Dances. Bernie's going to take a hard U-turn as Jellicent switches in. Just me, though, is going to predict the fighting move very well there, at which point Bernie avoids a Will-O-Wisp and is going to throw up a knockoff, doing really good damage to that. I think the Jellicent then recovers, at which point we throw up the Thunder Punch, which is also going to do pretty good damage. We evade the Will-O-Wisp for the second time, which actually would have helped just me, though. Would have only helped me, and I was like thinking I'm lucky avoiding the Will-O-Wisps. I set up Conkeldurr wrong. I'm pretty sure he had Guts on him, but I put the Assault Vest as opposed to like a Flame Orb or something like that, and so yeah, that was a bit of a misplay on my part. Luna then up against the Gliscor, not able to do a lot of damage, nothing really impressive at least. That one, because it boosted its attack, able to help us out quite a bit, because now its attack stat is higher. Our Foul Play is going to do a lot more, so we get lucky there. And it continues to roost. The toxic damage is not going to take off because it's got Poison Heal, obviously, so we just have to kind of hope for a crit at some point. And actually, at this point, I'm going to kind of do what we did with Scad, and we're going to skip ahead a couple of turns there. There we go. We finish off the Fidget, or not Fidget, but the Gliscor there. Bernie is going to come in up against the Scizor. They switch out Scizor and face of Bernie, bring in the Amoonguss, at which point we throw up the Drain Punch, which is going to get us a little bit of health back, and then Bernie's going to get Spored. Bernie, at that point, I think he wakes up here pretty quickly. No. Yes, no, there he goes. He wakes up, throws up that Mach Punch, does pretty good damage to the Aerodactyl. Going to take a Stone Edge and able to take that pretty well. Another Mach Punch coming in, helping us to finish off the Mega there. At which point Amoonguss comes back in. Bernie's going to throw up the Drain Punch, do decent damage, even though resisted, and get us a little bit of health back even. Bernie falls back asleep once again. I don't think he's going to wake up from this one quite as quickly. And then the... oh no, he wakes up just fine. Boy, Bernie. Bernie gets the Mach Punch off, not going to do a lot of damage with that against the Scizor, and now Scizor is setting up all kinds of stuff. So we go for the Drain Punch, looking to get some health back at least, so we can withstand the Scizor a little bit better. It throws up the Roost. We throw up the Knockoff there to get the leftovers off of it at the very least. Scizor is now full attack power. Bernie able to get the Drain Punch off once again. Scizor roosting off that damage. And so we had a lot of stally stuff here from the Scizor. Scizor going to go down at that point. And Amoonguss going to switch back in. The Stone Edge is going to miss. The Giga Drain is going to take Hanu down to a sturdy and heal up the Amoonguss quite nicely. Amoonguss then going to finish off the Hanu. Luna then falls asleep as Amoonguss is going to kind of chip away, and then we're able to finish off the Amoonguss without too much trouble there. So some stally tactics there from Just Me though, and normally I don't mind that stuff too much, but unfortunately Just Me though showed up at the very end of, like, it was like 2 minutes to the end of the time slot, and it was the morning time slot, so I had to get to work. And so it's like it's like 8:20, and it's like, okay, if this battle was going to take a half hour, you probably should have showed up earlier. But no, it was a good battle, and Just Me Though rightly earned themselves a slot in the admin section this week. So great work, Just Me Though. I greatly appreciate it. So admin Just Me Though goes down just barely to our team, and we will jump into the next one, shall we? Thanks again for participating, Just Me Though. Have a good one. Have a good one. You're still here for a couple of minutes, folks. Franklin going in against the Decidui, gonna throw up the sun and throw up the rocks. No. Yes. Yes, we go for the rocks there. At which point, Fidget is going to switch in up against the Aerodactyl. So again, another Mega Aerodactyl here, probably not probably, definitely the most common Mega that we saw this week. Fidget comes in, is able to throw up the Swords Dance. The Aerial Ace not going to do a ton, and the Ice Fang going to do pretty good work up against the Aerodactyl. Fidget going to take a Stone Edge there, not going to finish us off, and so we're able to finish off the Mega ourselves. Fidget restoring a little bit of HP, I think. Did we go for the Roost here? No. I think we probably were going for the Roost, but Bisharp outspeeds and finishes off Fidget there without too much trouble. Franklin then switches in, going to take a hard knockoff from the Bisharp, but going to be able to get the Lava Plume up and finish off the Steel type, so that works out pretty nicely. Did I even say? I feel like I didn't even. So yeah, Admin Celine Eleanor once again back this week in the evil team. She apparently was able to talk her way out of a demotion after her loss to us in our last encounter, and is able to stay up here in the admin. Again, another strong fairy that we really don't have any power against. Although thankfully able to do great damage with the psychic there up against the Granbull. It wasn't even a crit. So Granbull just must have terrible special defenses, which we will take. The crit there against the Pharaoh Seed, helpful. Unfortunately, the Focus Blast is going to miss. Thankfully, she goes for the Leech Seed, and so given our ability, Leech Seed's not going to do anything. But the second Focus Blast misses as well, and the Giga Drain's not going to miss, and it's going to finish off Scad. At which point, Bernie comes in with the Drain Punch. I just want this thing off the field because it's kind of hindering some of our other switches, so we finish it off there. Decidui coming in with the Leaf Blade, doing decent damage to Bernie. Bernie throws that knockoff there, though, and finishes off the Decidui without too much trouble. At which point, Swellow switches in. Very, very scary. Swellow one's on Klungar's team. What bat was that? Was that the previous evil team battle? Klungar had a Swellow at some point, which just wrecked us wholeheartedly. Luna able, though, to withstand it and finish off. Luna is going to throw up the Protect in order to get a little bit of health back to hopefully withstand the Granbull there. And we're able to outspeed and get the Foul Play up. And thankfully, the Play Rough is going to miss. And then we are able to outspeed again and get the Foul Play off, finishing off the Granbull. So yeah, we got some RNG help in that one, to be sure. If that Play Rough doesn't miss, I don't know if Luna survives it. Probably not. She's pretty bulky, but she's not that bulky. So chances are Luna goes down to that Play Rough, and Celine wins the battle at that point. So redeeming herself certainly from her loss last week, even though still getting a loss this week. Very, very strong showing for admin Celine. So thank you guys all so much for participating this week. Celine, especially since this is your battle, thank you for participating, and all of you guys who have participated this week and every other week. I greatly appreciate it. Now, this episode is very long already, so we're going to jump over to the spreadsheet and see what we're doing next week as we move into our first gym of the UU tier. Let's see how that looks, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, back at the spreadsheet, figuring out what kind of battles we're going to be doing next week. And so since we just had an evil team battle, and every other week in this series is a gym battle, just to help us move through the region a little bit quicker, that means a gym battle this week. So we have had ground, steel, fire, and psychic up to this point. And now we need to build some UU gym teams. So we're going to set this to pick between 1 and 18. We'll generate that, and 18, which you guys probably can't see because it's cut off, but 18 is fairy type. Oh man, so I'm definitely going to have to prep my team a little bit better this week, and then prep for those fairies, because I did not do a very good job of prepping for fairies in this last week, and so yeah, this is gonna be a little bit scary because I got nothing for fairies at the moment. So we're gonna have to go do some catching, take a look at some of the Pokemon that we've used in the past, and get together a team for fairy types. So I won't even I'll highlight it for my own purposes so I remember, but you guys can't see that anyway. So yeah, it's just under the cut here, but trust me, the 18th type is fairy type. So we are going to be going and, well, you guys are going to be going and building fairy type UU teams for use in the gym this week. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun. Oh man, we're gonna have to do a lot of prep for that. So no slacking this week, Tortimer. You're gonna actually do some serious team building. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and for participating. Good luck building your fairy teams. Same time slots as we've been doing, I guess. Those seem to be working out relatively well for people. Yeah. If you guys have any thoughts on that, I guess let me know. But it seems like for the most part, with the exception of maybe like one person, people are generally able to get in the time slots pretty well. And so, yeah. So we're going to stick with that for now. And unless I get feedback otherwise, we're going to keep going with Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. EST, Tuesday from 7 to 8 a.m. EST, and Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. EST are going to be our times for Gray version this week. So pick a time slot, plan to be there. I'll make sure that I try and remind you guys in the Discord as I've been doing. If you haven't joined my Discord yet and you're participating in the series, I recommend you guys do that. Link in the description down below, I would imagine. I'm sure it's down there. So join my Discord. It's kind of like Skype. It's a chatting, thing. And we've got a room there for all of our Pokemon shenanigans. It's a fun little community that we've built up there. And I really enjoy hanging out with you guys there. And it's great for me able to give you guys reminders on when things are coming up. I put things out on Twitter when big things come up, but generally speaking for the Gray version, I'm not spamming my Twitter with updates for that. So either remember your time slot and be there, or jump in the Discord and I will be putting out reminders there. But it's usually good if you remember your time slot as well. Anyway, guys, this episode is far too long already. So thank you guys so much for watching and for participating. Good luck building your UU fairy type teams this week. I'm really looking forward to this gym battle. This should be a lot of fun. And I will see you guys all out there this week. Alrighty, once again, Monday from 5 to 6 p.m. EST, Tuesday from 7 to 8 a.m. EST, and Wednesday from 12 to 1 p.m. EST. Times is always in the description down below if you forget. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Have a good one.